I do. Yep, Jesse Pugh, Jesse Pugh. Thanks. All right, it's tough coming up here after so many well-spoken individuals pretty much all night. And I have to say, it's kind of exhausting at this point. We're about a year in on this initiative that's been pushed by the town council. And I think the thing that's really so tough about it is that we all know how the vote is going to go tonight. So we come up here, say our part, and we know it's already predetermined. We've known it since, a year ago when you guys first put it out there. And the frustrating part is that we hear so many people come up here that are so well-spoken, so experienced, so qualified. They come up here, they do their research, they spend the time and the energy, they present to you data and facts, and then we just have this town council that is so thoroughly unqualified on this subject that is going to be making this decision, presenting no research, no data. You've had a year to put together some sort of argument. You can't do that. That's what we all kind of know and we all feel. We know what the outcome is going to be. You can prove me wrong. I doubt that's going to happen. I'd love for that to happen.
Mr. Pugh, are you going to speak on the specific changes that are being
No, I'll
proposed?
speak on this and other things. It's a public hearing, right?
Yes,
Yep.
but just want to keep the content.
Yeah, I'll move on to my next topic.
Thank you.
So, next topic. This one is a question for the solicitor. I remember when I was on the council, we would have certain items that we would vote on, and we always made a point to make sure there was no appearance of conflict. So maybe there wasn't a conflict, but we wanted to just make it completely clear there's no possible way that we're conflicted.
I just want to make sure that all questions are being directed through the council
Sure,
as
I'll
its
ask you, you can
procedure,
ask this.
and we will
Yep.
follow up with our solicitor
All right,
afterwards.
so with that said, I'm not going to talk about state ethics because I don't know if Mr. Durkin has received any sort of opinion on voting on things like this. I would say I'm surprised that he's sitting here and not recused from this item. But in our own charter, so our town charter, nothing to do with the state, but our town charter, we have our conflict of interest section, which states no member of the town council shall vote on any proposition through which the member directly or indirectly could financially benefit.
I
So
just
that's in the
want
town
to make
charter.
sure that you're speaking to the proposed changes.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think that it would be, I think any reasonable person could deduce from that a person who owns the most property in town, or if that's not correct, one of the few people who owns the most property in town, is sitting here voting on something that will clearly indirectly benefit him, maybe directly. I'm being generous when I say that. And there's a clear appearance of impropriety and an appearance of conflict. So, I remember being on the town council and recusing when there was an item that was about doing maintenance on a wastewater rock garden that abutted my neighborhood. I didn't vote on that because I guess I could benefit because there'd be less water going down the road in my neighborhood. That's how careful we were about looking conflicted. So my question is Mr. Durkin voting tonight questionable in terms of section 2.0.5 in the town charter? And
he'll answer that question when it's time for the council to address the solicitor. I'm making note of all questions being asked, but this is not the time for Mr. Durkin or the solicitor.
So if the answer is yes, that's a conflict, we're going to have the councilman sit here throughout this entire public hearing when he's conflicted?
It's not up to me to determine whether or not a council member is acting in an ethical capacity. That's why we have the Board of Ethics at the state level.
No, this is a town charter issue.
I understand, but the solicitor will be happy to answer that question when it's time for the solicitor to answer.
Great.
And I appreciate you bringing that question up.
Because I think there's a feeling that a lot of us have that elected officials feel like they're not obligated to follow the law, that they can do what they want. If no one stops them, they're just going to do what they want. So we all feel that. A lot of us feel that. I won't say all of us. But I'll move on from that. So earlier tonight, Councilwoman Vignali talked about different types of affordable housing. So not the type of affordable housing where the price is less than market, but the type of affordable housing where maybe you have a in-law or a parent or you build an extra bedroom for a son or daughter in a home. That was the way that she was describing affordable housing. I think most of us think that if the value of a property goes up, that is going to make a house less affordable. I know, Mr. Menzies, that's the way you think of it. And I know in a few meetings a few months ago you said that this specific ordinance change would increase the value of houses in Narragansett. You stated that 3 times, right? Okay, just want to be sure that we all agree on that. So tonight, what's being proposed, what's being discussed would increase housing costs in Narragansett. Earlier tonight, Mr. Alba asked a good question. He said, why is the town council doing this? He said, I asked myself this question, why is this happening? Why would they propose something like this? And I think the answer is not complex. It's probably the most clear, simple, blunt answer. And that is because Joseph Sicarchi up at the state has directed you to do this. I know it's been alluded to a few times tonight, but we could just say it clearly. Joe Sicarchi is directing Narragansett Town Council to pass this to be in line with his initiative. He's running for governor. He needs a feather in his hat. And the town council has to pass this. So, if the town council is doing what Joe Sicarchi is directing them to do, again, a land use attorney from Warwick, then who's the town council serving? Are they serving the voters and the residents of Narragansett? Or are they serving a lawyer who represents developers in Warwick? We can all decide for ourselves what we think. You guys will have your opinion. People out here will have ours. But really, when you're elected to serve on any council committee seat, you have to make a decision for yourself how you're going to serve in that role. Are you going to make decisions that you think are right? Are you going to represent the people? Even if you disagree with what the people want, are you going to go with what they want because you represent them? To me, it seems like this council is doing what they want to do rather than what the people come out every time we have a hearing on this and tell you what they want. So, look at it tonight. There were a few people that spoke in favor of this. The majority spoke against it. I know you guys have said multiple times there's a silent majority. If there's a silent majority, why don't they ever come to a town council meeting? Is this because you get emails that reinforce your position? Is it phone calls? Are these people that are tapping you on the shoulder when you're at the beach and telling you how they feel? Whatever it is, they are not here. You're ignoring what is right in front of your face, which is residents of this town telling you that they are against what you're proposing. What you four have said you're for and you support from the very beginning goes against everything that's in this proposal. You said you're for affordable housing. We just went over how that's not what this does. You said you're for the environment. So you're proposing additional hardscaping, additional lot coverage, additional stormwater runoff. So directly against what you're saying you're for. You're for supporting the schools, but you're making housing more expensive. You're for coastal access, but you're making access to the coast harder. Larger houses means less pathways to the ocean. We've seen that down in the avenues in the South End. So if those are the things you support, those are what you're for, why would you push for something that goes against those 4 tenets? I would love to hear a reason why. I would love to see some data. I would love to have you present some sort of compelling argument that backs up what you're trying to do. If it's about adding a bedroom, tell us how many people have submitted applications to add a bedroom to their house and not been able to do that without a variance. Do you have that information? How many people want to do this and have not submitted an application? Do you have any sort of survey that says these people want to expand? They haven't gone through the process, but we know they want to because we have this data. How many people would benefit from the 15%? How many people could build that home with that 15% bonus but can't do it now? Do you have that data? You've had a year to make some sort of argument. Even the people that came up here tonight, and I know a few of them, I know Dante talked about subdividing lots. That's great, and that's done in other legislation, and that's fine. That's not what's being proposed here. Tonight has nothing to do with that. The gentleman who came up earlier talked about starting the building process before this went into place is 15%, and now it's complicated things. But it really hasn't, because all you have to do is submit a single piece of paper to get that 15% back. So that 15%, that change would not have affected what you're building unless you already needed a variance. If you could build it within what you had in 2023, you could build it now. Submit one additional piece of paper. That's it. So again, I don't know what else to say. I mean, at this point, I think I feel like everybody else out here, which is that you do not support or represent the people that live here in Narragansett. You answer to one person, and it's nobody in this room. So, thank you.